So, going back to Coda for a moment, is there anything else about the making of that record that stuck out to you?
That's when I met Robert. I think he might have done some vocals.
Hmm.
I think he came in to do the vocals. Jimmy brought in some great mics. He had one of these old 47s that the Beatles used. And I think I was very pleased if Robert Plant's coming in, I'm definitely going to set up that microphone, because it will just look great, apart from it will obviously sound great, because he's got a great voice. But so we definitely did that.
Walter's Walk?
Yeah, that was definitely. I think that was the one that Robert did some vocals on. Walter's Walk. That was a funny track. Yeah,
Okay, interesting.
weird track. Yeah,
Why is that funny to you? Like, what stuck out about that track to you?
I'll tell you what it is because Led Zeppelin are a good example of bands in the 70s and 80s that didn't have a genre. It wasn't like, oh, they're a heavy metal band or they're a pop band, they're a rock band. They do all sorts of stuff. And Walter's Walk is like a country and western, I think. And Poor Tom is definitely, it's like country and western, It's because they all like various different types of music. And on the one album, you'd get all sorts of different, and Elton used to do the same thing. It'd be country comforts, like a country and western song, and that was what was great also about those bands. They got such a wide spectrum of music on each record. Definitely, we worked on Poor Tom. We did all sorts of, because everything I did with Jimmy was usually complicated, to be honest, apart from maybe The Firm, which was fairly straightforward, although there were probably complicated stuff in it. But I know we did something weird with Poor Tom. I don't know what it was, because I think maybe Jimmy didn't have the multi-track, or I don't know. We had to do something. I Can't Quit You, I was saying he didn't want it to be known it was it was live, so I couldn't use the ambient mics. I couldn't use the audience mics. So I brought in this incredible early EMT digital reverb to recreate that. So I did that. The ones that came from In Through the Outdoor, there was nothing to do. They were just mixed.
Mm-hmm. How did your relationship with Zeppelin begin? Did you work with them prior to Coda? Like, how did that all come together?
Yeah, well, it's not really it's not so much direct relation with Zeppelin. It was more with Jimmy Page. And that came about because in about 1980, I guess, Gus Dudgeon, who owned the Mill Studios in Cookham, had to sell it. And one of the people that came to view it, interested to buy it, was Jimmy Page. And I was there. We were working with an American band, actually, Shooting Star. And there'd been a lot of sort of, we weren't allowed to know who was coming. He was coming in a helicopter. He's flying in. And there's all this mystery about it, which later I found out is pretty much par for the course with Jimmy and Led Zeppelin, always surrounded in a bit of mystery somehow. And anyway, in walks this guy, obviously recognized him straight away as Jimmy Page, and he was very quiet, very shy, had a look round, took note of what was going on, and next thing we hear, he's buying the studio. So, and also I heard that he wanted to keep me on as engineer and I guess studio manager, so that was very nice. And so I was now really looking forward to working with Jimmy.